Hey folks, Marcel back again with the Pulse. I've got a big update for you today, a big personal update and also an update with some things that are going on. I've got my mini notes here going on in the industry regarding an article that was just posted by Blake Ebersol on the Natural Products Insider concerning the drug industry and how doctors try to persuade their patients and do successfully persuade their patients away from taking natural supplements. I want to get into all that, but I want to update you guys quickly on my own situation taking NMN. I plan to try to win half my tennis matches this year. What I've done is reach a state of play, and I reported it a week ago, that enables me to stay in this flow state, and I'm not just running, but running for each ball over and over and over again and just wearing out my opponents. I've won 4 matches in a row now. I won again this past weekend. So I'm beating most of my opponents right now pretty steadily, pretty much using the same formula, kind of tweaking it depending on the player I'm going up against. So I continue to not just get healthier, I'm getting faster, I'm getting more effective, I'm feeling better and better, and my NMN lifestyle is fitting me better and better. I'm feeling more and more relaxed, more comfortable in my own body and my own protocol. So it's gotten less, I don't know if the word's edgy at times. Sometimes I feel like maybe I'm taking a little too much. Sometimes I'm not sure if I'm taking enough or doing enough. And I've sort of reached this sort of very comfortable state of an even flow. The flow state extends, in other words, beyond just the tennis court. It's been how I've been living, much more relaxed, much more fluidly. It's been a very successful year this year, the best year, and I'm into my third year, well into my third year taking NMN. And of course, I've added other things. I've documented that many times. I still believe and I still feel that primary boost when I take that daily NMN. So grateful for it. It's going very well. You could still save 33% on it. I don't know how long that's going at DoNotAge. So go to DoNotAge, use my code ThePulse if you want to get a great deal on NMN. It was a huge discount that has been going on now for almost 2 months. So it's pretty cool that they're doing that. Now, the topic of drugs versus supplements. I found it really fascinating that Blake Ebersol wrote this story for Natural Products Insider and points out very directly several points that I've brought up here in general terms. I'm not saying he plagiarized this channel whatsoever. It's a very logical conclusion that he's making overall with drugs versus supplements. And he's been doing this for a long time, so he's got a lot of data to back up his information. And he states that. And I'm going to put the link in the description, and you guys should really read it. But I want to paraphrase some of it, some of the key points of the article here. And he talks about how there are drugs that treat various conditions that are not doing as well as the supplement counterparts for those same conditions, and how the supplements, the tried and true supplements that have been around for a long time, are better for treating certain conditions than the new and great drugs. So why don't doctors recommend that you take natural ingredients? Instead, they make their patients afraid of supplements. They describe it in Wild West terms, like, it's unregulated, it's wild, you don't know what's in that bottle. And some of that is just true enough to really scare people. And this isn't just conjecture. I've seen this with my own family members. They see me come home a few times a year. They see how well I'm doing. They ask me about it. What are you doing? My friends ask me, what are you doing? Have you found the fountain of youth? What are you doing? They've known me, some of them, all my life. And I tell them, well, as soon as you tell them you're taking supplements, that, the force field goes up, right? The invisible force field, they're not listening to you. And if they do listen to me, they go and they ask their doctor about it, and their doctors persuade them not to take supplements. Not just NMN, but don't take anything that I don't prescribe you. I mean, you can take it, but I can't tell you how that's going to do for you, how it's going to go for you. And some of the more elderly, frail relatives that I have just don't take anything. A few of them do. Some of them do. And they keep taking them, and they seem to be doing well. But I'm concerned with the frail and sick relatives that I have, and that they're being coerced by their doctors to avoid natural ingredients. And many times people walk into these doctors' offices unhealthy and obese, and they need help, and they're prescribed drugs. They've got the drug. You leave the doctor's office with a prescription. That's the model. That's the industry. That's how things work. That's what pays the bills. Pays the bills for social media, pays the bills for television channels, pays the bills for doctors and clinics. And it is frustrating. I do get animated when I talk about this topic. But I think that the article that Blake wrote here covers a very fair, balanced picture. He also goes on to say, look, some medications are needed to treat specific medical conditions, and the counterparts in the supplement world aren't potent enough or strong enough to treat some medical conditions. So we need some drugs, but we don't need exclusively drugs. And this is coming up more and more. Sanjay Gupta shocked me when he did this special. He didn't talk about the supplements he started taking. He's been studying Alzheimer's. It runs in his family. He's in a high risk. So he's wanting to do what he can to stop it. So he wrote on CNN.com, as I brought up before, that he started to take some supplements, B12, omega-3, good for him, but he didn't bring it up on television. Why? I doubt very highly that omega-3 is advertising, or that companies selling omega-3 are advertising much on CNN. Pharmaceutical drug companies are. So you got to follow the money. And you got to look at this landscape and say, why are doctors scaring their patients away from supplements? It serves no financial purpose. And I brought this up many times, and this article embodies the things that I've talked about. Yes, we need both, right? We need drugs for certain conditions, but we need to live a healthier lifestyle to be healthier. And I also wonder how many of these conditions that need these drugs would dissipate or reduce or go away if people were living healthier. And all we can do is wonder. All we can do is guess. It's a shame, but it is true. Now back to NMN. Is it a drug or is it a supplement? Take this landscape that Blake describes here, and you tell me how NMN could survive as a drug. I mean, unless they're being paid and unless it is for a certain specific condition, it's never going to be prescribed, very rarely, because it's a systemic vitamin. It's something that makes you feel better and perform better in sports and athletics, mentally, more cognitive, more focused. What condition is that? How many doctors are going to say, yeah, you're just overall sluggish. Take some NMN. So I don't see how NMN is going to fit in the medical landscape. I just don't see it. It's the quintessential supplement. Matter of fact, NMN boosts NAD, which is required for life. Required for life. NMN is in your body, and it's in most of the healthy foods that nutritionists recommend that we eat, including milk. So if NMN exists in these things, that is the definition for a food supplement. Does the molecule exist in the food supply? It not only exists in your food supply, it exists in your body. The molecule NMN makes NAD with or without taking NMN. That's going on. That's a process going on in your body. When you take NMN, your NAD levels go up. That's a fact. Now, the question is, we can talk about the muscle tissue. We could talk about the joints. We could talk about the bones. We could talk about the brain. I get it. And more research needs to be done, as Blake points out as well in his article. More research needs to be done. That's acknowledged. But let's also acknowledge that NMN exists in the food supply. If people make a choice, as I have, to take it as a food supplement, then that should be the end of the story. We should have that right. By definition, NMN is not a drug, should not be a drug. I don't even know if Metro Biotech will continue to pursue making NMN a drug if they lose the battle with the FDA to get it off the market as a supplement. And how in any world can they ban something? Can they ban something that is already in your body and already in the food supply? It's as if Elon Musk said, hey, I've got a better version of oxygen. We're preparing to use it on Mars. And basically, it supersedes the oxygen we have here naturally, so we're going to ban that. You can't have it anymore. And to me, taking away NMN is that severe. That's an analogy to me. And it's just, it sounds ludicrous. It is ludicrous. And that's exactly what your government is trying to do. They're trying to take away something that is required, a precursor to a molecule in your body that is required for you to live. And that is NMN. And that's why I don't think there should be any debate here, yet there is. Is it a drug? Is it a supplement? It starts and stops with the fact that NMN is in the food supply and has always been in the food supply. It's in our bodies and has always been in our bodies. And it's in my view, because myself and others are having success, anecdotal or otherwise, because we're feeling great taking it, because we're doing well and we don't need their drugs, of which I take none. It scares them. And I know I'm repeating some of the mantras I've brought up here before. I get it. But I'm giving you an article with an overall fair and balanced outlook of this story as well that supports many of the points I've been making here for a long time. So check it out in the description. If you're interested in taking NMN or other supplements, I do only take DoNotAge supplements. I've talked about that many times, why I've pursued other companies to investigate them, and I just haven't found a compelling enough reason to go elsewhere. So that's the company this channel's aligned with. You can use my code ThePulse, save an extra 10%. I'll see you guys soon.